So in this video, we're going to take a look to see how we create a calculator. I'm just going to use a already made calculator and show you how it looks and how it's constructed. So the first thing you need to do when you're making a calculator is to make a text. I made a text right here called I just ended up clicking on here and clicking on the graphics view, and it came up as text 1. And it could be anything. But after I made that text, I went straight to input box and I clicked down like this and I wrote work right there because it's going to show the work. I put colon and then I entered text 1 right here. So I inputted that like I found the linked object became text 1. So that's what that is right there. And if I click on this and I go to object, you'll see that this is highlighted. It has text 1 right there. So that is just a text. Now this one is another input box. And prior to making this input box, I made a number and I called that number answer. So what I did was I typed down here in the input box, answer equals 1 or whatever. It doesn't matter. Any number. So answer equals 1. So that's what I typed in to get a new number. And when I was making this input box, I'll click on it, you can see they asked for me to have a linked object. As I say, when I clicked on this right here and I said input box, see if it'll come up. Yeah, the linked object that I chose was this number called answer. So I have the first input box has a text, the second input box has an answer. Now, the way that we arrive at this answer is by a command that's on this text right here. So there's an onUpdate command on text 1 which transforms this number into whatever the value of this is. So I'm going to change this, and I'll just do 3 times 3, press enter, and you notice that gets updated. If I take this whole thing and I say times 2, it'll come up 18. If I say times 4, I get 72. So you notice whatever I have here, this is updated. Now, the way that that works, we know we have this value inside of this input box because it says answer. You see where I click on this, you see in yellow, you see the word answer. But I want to show you how that happens. So I'm going to go into the text right here, and I'm going to go into onUpdate. So script onUpdate. There's a command called parse to number, which is basically saying we want the value of this answer, of this number, to be whatever this text is saying. So this text right here says 3 times 3 times 2 times 4. Therefore, the value of this number, which is called answer, will be that product right there. Okay, so that's how I set up. When I'm making a calculator. To show the work, I set it up that way where this box has a text, this box has a number, and they correspond to each other because of this command here. So that's one thing that I do. The next thing that we have to do is we got to make a bunch of buttons, or you may not need many, but if your game, let's say you're doing a game on special right triangles, you may want to have a square root button. You may want to have a root 3 button as well. So depending on whatever you're doing, you may want to have buttons. Now, when we make these buttons, the only thing that we have to do is first we're going to click on here, and we're going to have a caption. The caption is going to be what goes right there. So for instance, if I write plus and then I press OK, there, I have my button right there, and that's the same as that, except I went into Object Properties and I colored it. So all you're doing to get the visual on top of it is to just put whatever you want there on the caption. So if I go to, I gotta get out of this right here before opening. So if I go to, let's say, this one right there, you see it's highlighted. Go to basic, you'll notice the caption is that right there. So I could even change that if I wanted to. Let's say I want to put minus instead. It's not going to change the function, but whatever you put here, it's going, as long as you press enter, it's going to change the whatever it says on the button. So that's how that happens. Now, how do we get to the function of this? Because if I press this button right here, if I press any of these buttons, times, divide, divided by 2, clear, times 2, times 4, if I press any of these buttons, they'll come up with, there's a desired response. So hope you can recognize I've zoomed in on all the buttons, and then I also have part of preferences open. I mean, you can't see the whole preferences box, but you can see everything that's written for on click for each individual button that I have. So for the plus sign, you can see this is what it looks like. I want to get it without the, but that's what it looks like. You have brackets, text 1, comma, close bracket or close parentheses, plus text 1, plus close parentheses, and then plus. Now all of them are going to follow this same thing where we're saying set value. We want text 1, which is right here, to be whatever this blank quote plus text 1. So whatever text 1 is now, we want it to be that, and then we're going to add to that this plus sign. So if I change it, you'll notice everything stays the same. We start out, we're saying we're going to manipulate text 1 with this and this already, and then we have a time sign. Changes to divide, just changes to divide by 2. This is clear, so we just say text 1 closed. So it's text 1 and then times 2, times 4. Parentheses, if we just want to put a left parentheses or a right parentheses. Half is just times 0.5. Pi symbol. Exponent. And then square root. So that's how that looks.